What's happening, everyone? Hope you're having a great day. Just wanted to pop on here. I've been getting some situations where I'm pulling credit for clients and I'm noticing that they're actually having co-signers on their credit report. And it's been very problematic because not so much because the person they co-signed for was late, which is a whole nother topic that we'll get into in just a minute, but it's because it's maybe a co-sign for a son or a daughter on a car loan where the payment was $500 or $600 a month. And the son was actually making the payment, but they were actually giving mom and dad cash, and then mom and dad were actually making the payment versus actually having the daughter or the son make the payment directly out of their bank account. And because they weren't doing that, because they were giving mom, dad cash to make that payment, we were not able to remove that from the debt ratio, which is causing problems for mom and dad to actually be able to qualify for a home loan. So before you contemplate actually co-signing for someone, and again, I'm not going to tell you that you can't co-sign. I don't recommend it. I don't think it's the most advantageous situation. Obviously, if you have a son or a daughter that absolutely needs assistance, you're going to have to do what you have to do. But I've seen more nightmare stories from folks from co-signing, mainly because, number one, the story I just told you about debt ratio. The other reason would be credit-wise. So, you went and co-signed for somebody, a friend, a family member, whatever the case may be, and made the payments for a while, and then for whatever reason they decided not to make the payments, and now all of a sudden you got late payments on your credit report, which is causing your score to come down because they weren't able to meet their obligation. And I'll give you a story about that. So I had a borrower come to me and his credit was pristine, but he had one account that was actually in a charge-off, and the charge-off was actually a co-signed account with mom. Mom had actually got the credit card. They both were on the credit card, and his mom actually did not make the payments, and it went into a charge-off. All the rest of his credit was completely perfect, never late, managed everything properly, and that one account that he co-signed for, because she chose not to make the payments and he was not aware of it, wasn't watching his credit, wasn't making sure that he was keeping himself updated on that through maybe a credit karma service or whatnot to make sure things were being paid, wasn't paying attention, and next minute we pull his credit and his credit score is a lot lower than what he anticipated because of that bad mark. So guys, it's vitally important that you count the cost before you make a decision to co-sign for someone. Again, I know that it's the kind thing to do if somebody's struggling, need help with their credit or to apply for a car loan and needing a cosigner or whatever. But I caution you that it's a good chance that it could ruin your ability to transact in a home purchase or something, car loan or whatever else in the future, because they had a blemish on your credit report because they chose not to make the payment or they ran into bad times or whatever the case may be, and it caused your credit score to come down because you were the cosigner on the account. Or in the situation that I spoke about when we first jumped on here, was that the debt ratio is high. So if you do choose to have a cosigner, especially with a large payment automobile, my wisdom and my advice and encouragement to you would be make sure that that person is making the payment directly from their account and not paying you so that you can pay the account. The reason being is because when you do go to apply for a home loan, you are able to, if you can prove that that person is making a payment directly out of their account for 12 months, you can actually not include that in the debt ratio because that person's actually proving that they can make that payment. So I hope that's been helpful to you. I've ran across this here recently, and so I wanted to jump on here, figured it'd be helpful to some that are maybe contemplating doing that with co-signing with a family member or whatnot. Just be cautious, make sure you know the plan, and make sure that you're structuring it properly, and if you can avoid it, don't co-sign. If someone would like help on credit, it's always better to maybe do an authorized user account for a family member where you're adding them as an authorized user onto a credit card to help them get their credit score up. Something that I did for my daughter, I added her as an authorized user onto an account on one of my credit cards, and it gave her an immediate credit score where she had no credit score, and then she was able to go out and actually apply for her own loans at that point where she didn't need me as a cosigner. So that might be a way to go as well. So anyhow, hope that's been helpful to you, and until next time, bye for now.